God bless you. It's good to be with you. I want to talk to you about designing your life. Many people just let life happen to them. They drift. They hope for a good wind to blow them to a good shore. But you don't have to live that way. You can be the architect of your own future. The ideas for building a good life are not complicated. They are not hidden away in some secret vault. The major truths, the things that make the biggest difference, are simple. They are disciplines. They are practices. The challenge isn't finding them. The challenge is applying them. I spent years learning these lessons, often the hard way, so that you don't have to. And today, I want to share the blueprint with you. We're going to walk through 10 of the most powerful ideas that can completely reframe how you see yourself and your potential. These aren't just speeches, they are the foundational pillars for building an exceptional life. Before we get into the first idea, you need to understand the philosophy that holds all of this together. It's a simple one. Most people spend their time wishing things were different. They say, I wish it was easier. They wish the economy would change, their boss would be nicer, or the taxes were lower. They are waiting for the outside world to change for their life to get better. But that's a fool's game. You can't change the seasons. You can't change the direction of the wind. The same winds of opportunity and disaster blow on us all. It's not the blowing of the wind that determines our destination. It's the set of the sail. And that is something you have complete control over. So here is the core idea, the one that everything else is built on. For things to change for you, you have to change. For things to get better for you, you have to get better. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. Don't wish for fewer problems. Wish for more skills. Don't wish for less challenge. Wish for more wisdom. That's why these 10 ideas matter. They are not about changing your circumstances. They are about changing you. They are a curriculum for personal development. Each one is a tool to help you work on the most important project you will ever have, your own life. When you get better, everything around you starts to look better. Our first speech, our first major idea, is about your personal philosophy. This is the most important factor in how your life turns out. Your personal philosophy is the way you think. It's how you process information and make decisions. It's the set of your sail in the winds of life. A faulty philosophy is like having a small error in your navigation. At first, it's no big deal, but over a journey of 10 years, that small error can leave you hundreds of miles off course. The same is true in life. A few errors in judgment repeated every day will lead you to disaster. It's guaranteed, but the opposite is also true. A few simple disciplines practiced every day will lead you to a life of success and fortune. It's just as guaranteed. So why is this so important? Because your philosophy filters everything. When an opportunity comes, your philosophy decides if you see it. When a setback happens, your philosophy determines whether you see it as a failure or as a lesson. Two people can have the exact same experience. For one, it's the end of the world. For the other, it's a valuable education. What's the difference? Their personal philosophy. The consequences of not working on your philosophy are severe. You'll keep making the same mistakes, blaming bad luck or other people, and you'll end up in a place you never intended to be. So what is this really? Your philosophy is simply the sum of what you know and how you decide to use that knowledge. It's about becoming a student of life. You can't rely on what you learned in high school to get you through the complexities of the modern world. You have to be a constant learner. The good news is all the knowledge you need is available. It's in books, it's in seminars, it's in the experiences of successful people. The key is to be a collector of good ideas. Here's how you can start applying this today. First, start reading. Dedicate 30 minutes every day to reading a good book, not a novel, but a book that feeds your mind with ideas and skills. Second, keep a journal. When you hear a good idea, capture it. Don't trust your memory. Write it down. Your journal will become one of your most valuable assets. Third, reflect on your day. Don't just go through your day, get from your day. At the end of the day, ask yourself, what did I learn? What went well? What could I have done differently? This simple practice of reflection will sharpen your judgment and refine your philosophy faster than anything else. Now, once you start working on your philosophy, the next idea clicks right into place. This is the second speech, and it's based on one of the oldest truths, the law of sowing and reaping. The scripture talks about it, but it's a law of nature, a law of life. It's a simple concept, but it's profound. The law says that whatever you sow, that is what you will reap. You can't plant a thistle and expect to get a rose. It's impossible. Why is this a life-changing idea? Because it puts you in the driver's seat. It eliminates blame. If you don't like the harvest you are reaping in your life right now, whether it's your finances, your health, or your relationships, you don't have to blame the government or the economy or your family. You only need to look at what you've been sowing. The results you have today are the harvest of the seeds you planted yesterday, last week, and last year. The benefit of mastering this idea is that you gain total control. You realize that if you want a different harvest, you simply have to start planting different seeds. So what is the law exactly? It has a few parts. First, you reap what you sow. If you sow kindness, you'll reap kindness. If you sow hard work, you'll reap results. Second, you reap more than you sow. You plant one corn kernel, and you get a stalk with several ears of corn, each with hundreds of kernels. The return is always multiplied. This can work for you or against you. A small act of neglect can lead to a massive failure down the road. A small act of discipline can lead to a huge success. And third, you reap in a different season. You plant in the spring and you harvest in the fall. You have to have the patience to let your efforts grow. You can't plant a seed on Monday and expect to see a tree on Tuesday. Here's how you put this into practice immediately. Take an honest look at your life as a farm. What does your financial harvest look like? If you don't like it, what seeds are you sowing? Are you sowing seeds of saving and investing or seeds of frivolous spending? What does your health harvest look like? Are you sowing seeds of exercise and good nutrition or seeds of inactivity and junk food? Today, you can choose to plant a new seed. It doesn't have to be massive. You can start by saving just a small amount from your paycheck. You can start by going for a 15-minute walk. The action itself is small, but you are planting a new seed. And if you tend to that seed and you have the faith to let it grow, you will eventually reap a harvest you can be proud of. Once you understand that you reap what you sow, the next logical question is, what should I be sowing and where? This brings us to our third major idea, the power of goals. If your life is a ship on the ocean, your philosophy is the set of your sail. But if you have no destination in mind, you're just drifting. The winds of circumstance will blow you from one shore to another, and you'll end up wherever life decides to take you. Goals are the act of choosing your destination. They give you a port to sail toward. Most people don't set goals. They just go to work, pay their bills, and hope for the best. Why? Some people don't know how. Nobody ever taught them. Others don't set goals because they're afraid of failure. They think if they don't have a goal, they can't be disappointed. But the greatest failure is to not try at all. The consequence of having no goals is that you spend your life working to achieve the goals of someone else. You become a part of another person's plan. But when you have your own clear, compelling goals, you tap into a power that pulls you forward. It gives you a reason to get up early and stay up late. So what exactly is a goal? It's not just a wish or a dream. A dream is a fuzzy idea of something you'd like to have. A goal is a dream with a deadline. It's specific, it's clear, and most importantly, it's written down. An unwritten goal is just a fantasy. The moment you write it down, something magical happens. It becomes tangible. It becomes real. You need to have goals for every part of your life. You need economic goals. How much you want to earn, how much you want to save and invest. You also need personal development goals. What skills you want to learn, what kind of person you want to become, the health you want to have. And yes, it's okay to have goals for things you want to acquire. The beautiful home, the vacation. These things can be powerful motivators. Here's how you start this process today. Get a notebook and just for yourself, write down at least 50 things you want to do, be, and have in the next 10 years. Don't judge or filter. If you think of it, write it down. Once you have your list, go back through it, and for each goal, write down a number next to it, 1, 3, 5, or 10. This represents the number of years you think it will take to achieve it. Now you have a roadmap for the next decade. Take your one-year goals and focus on those. Break them down. If you want to read 24 books in a year, that's 2 books a month. That's a clear, manageable target. This is how you start steering your ship instead of just letting it drift. Now, having a destination is one thing, but the journey requires consistent effort. This leads us to the fourth speech, and perhaps the most important discipline of all, the miracle of self-discipline. Discipline is the bridge between your goals and your accomplishment. It's the one thing that guarantees your great ideas and noble ambitions become reality. Without it, even the most brilliant plan is useless. There are 2 kinds of pain in life, the pain of discipline and the pain of regret. The pain of discipline weighs ounces, while the pain of regret weighs tons. You choose which one you want to carry. Many people think discipline is a punishment. It's not. Discipline is the conscious choice to do what you know you need to do, even when you don't feel like doing it, to get the results you want in the future. It's choosing what you want most over what you want now. The truth is, the difference between success and failure isn't some massive heroic act. It's found in a few simple disciplines, practiced every single day. The person who succeeds is simply willing to do the things that the person who fails is not. Reading the book instead of watching the extra hour of television, making the sales call instead of putting it off, saving the first 10% of your paycheck instead of spending it. So how do you build this muscle? You don't start by trying to lift 1,000 pounds. You start with something small, something you know you can do. The key is not the size of the act, but the consistency of it. Try this. Pick one small positive action and commit to doing it every day for the next 90 days. It could be reading 10 pages of a good book. It could be drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning. It could be writing down one thing you're grateful for. The act itself is less important than the promise you are keeping to yourself. Every time you do it, you build self-respect. You begin to see yourself as a disciplined person. That shift in identity is what creates lasting change. Discipline is the master key that unlocks all the other doors to the good life. This discipline you're building applies directly to our fifth major idea, which is about the economics of life. This is where we talk about money, but not in the way you might think. Most people have a fundamental misunderstanding of how they get paid. They think they get paid for their time. They trade an hour of their life for a certain number of dollars. And so the only way they know to make more money is to work more hours or to ask for a raise. But that's a trap. Why? Because your time is finite. There are only so many hours in a day. If you're only trading time for money, you have put a permanent ceiling on your income. You can only work so much. This is why just wishing for a raise without changing anything else is a failing strategy. The marketplace doesn't just give you more money because you want it. It responds to something else entirely. Here's the better method, the idea that changed my entire financial future. You don't get paid for your time. You get paid for the value you bring to the marketplace. The market pays you for value. Let me say that again. The market pays you for value. This is a profound shift. If you want to earn more, you don't necessarily need to work more hours. You need to become more valuable. Your income is a direct reflection of the value you provide to others, whether it's your employer, your customers, or your communities. So how do you implement this? How do you become more valuable? You work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Once you go to your job, you've got to work hard on your job to be a good employee. But after work or before work, you must get to work on yourself. Read the books, attend the seminars, learn the new skills, develop your communication, improve your attitude. Every skill you learn, every good idea you absorb makes you more valuable to the marketplace. The results are incredible. Your income will start to follow your personal development. As you grow, your income grows. It's no longer capped by the clock. It's only limited by your own ambition to learn and improve.
Now, as you become more valuable and your income starts to increase, you'll face a new and wonderful problem: what to do with the money. This brings us to our sixth speech, which is all about cultivating wealth and abundance. It's not about how much you earn, it's about what you do with what you earn. I've known people who make a fortune and end up broke. And I've known people with a modest income who become financially independent. The difference wasn't the amount, it was the plan. The reason most people struggle financially, no matter their income, is because they don't have a plan. They think that if I just had more money, my problems would be solved. But that's not true. If you can't manage $1,000, you won't be able to manage $100,000. More money just amplifies your current habits. If you have poor money habits, more money just means you'll get into bigger trouble. The better method is to have a simple, disciplined plan for every dollar that comes into your life. Here's a powerful one to start with. It's a 70-10-10-10 plan. First, learn to live on 70% of your take-home pay. This is your budget for your lifestyle, your bills, your fun. The discipline of not spending it all is the first step toward wealth. The next 10% is for giving, for charity. This is critical. When you give, it changes your mindset from scarcity to abundance. It starts the process of receiving. You can't get if you aren't willing to give. The next 10% is for what I call active capital. This is your entrepreneurial fund. You use this money to buy, fix, and sell. You learn how to turn a profit. Maybe you buy something at a garage sale and sell it for more online. The amount isn't important. The education you get from it is priceless. The final 10% is for passive capital, for investing. This is your long-term wealth fund. You put this money into things that will grow over time, like stocks or real estate, and you don't touch it. You let it work for you. You can start this today. It doesn't matter if you have $1 or $100. Take $1, give 10 cents to charity. Put 10 cents in your active capital jar. Put 10 cents in your passive capital jar, and learn to live on the 70 cents. It's the habit, not the amount, that will make you wealthy. The result is you'll stop thinking like a consumer and start thinking like an owner. That's the path to true financial freedom. We've talked about your philosophy being the set of your sail. Now let's talk about how you build that sail. Your personal philosophy isn't something you're born with. It's something you must consciously develop. It is the major determining factor in how your life works out. It's the sum total of everything you know and how you decide to process and use that information. A weak philosophy will leave you vulnerable to every whim of fortune, but a strong one will give you a rudder in any storm. The main reason people end up with a poor philosophy is neglect. They are casual listeners. They are lazy thinkers. They just absorb whatever is around them, the news, the office gossip, the complaints from their neighbor, and they wonder why their life isn't working. You have to be more than a passive observer.
You must become a student of life, a collector of good ideas. So where do you find these ideas? It comes down to three key areas. First, what you read. You must be a reader. All leaders are readers. The books you need to build a powerful philosophy are available. They're at the library, they're at the bookstore. Find out what successful, happy, and wealthy people have on their shelves and read those books. Dedicate yourself to reading something of substance every single day. Don't let a day pass without feeding your mind. Second is your associations. Who are you spending time with? This is a big one. The people you associate with have a powerful influence on the person you are becoming. Their conversations, their attitudes, their habits, they all rub off on you. You cannot afford to spend significant time with negative people who complain and make excuses. You must actively seek out people who have goals, who are positive, who lift you up and challenge you to be better. Sometimes you have to disassociate, and sometimes you just need to limit the time. It's your life, you have to protect it. And third, you must learn to reflect on your own experiences. Don't just go through your day, get from your day. At the end of the day, take a few minutes with your journal and ask, what did I learn today? What went right? What went wrong? How can I do better tomorrow? This simple act of pondering your life turns experience into wisdom. Your philosophy is built day by day, choice by choice. Start being more deliberate about what you read, who you talk to, and how you reflect. Once you start building that philosophy, you'll be better equipped to understand our next big idea, the seasons of life. This is one of the most powerful ways to look at your life and business. It's a simple metaphor. Life is like the changing of the seasons. There's a winter, a spring, a summer, and a fall. The most important thing to understand is this: you cannot change the seasons, but you can change yourself. First comes winter. These are the hard times. These are the recessions, the disappointments, the times when your heart is broken, the times when you feel like you're going backward. Winters will always come. There will always be difficulties. The key is to not wish it wasn't winter. Instead, you must use the winter to get stronger, wiser, and better. Winters are for reading books. Winters are for planning. Winters are for personal development. You handle the winters by becoming a more capable person. Then after winter, what always comes? Spring. Spring is the season of opportunity. It's the time to take action. When the chance is there, you must seize it. You must plant your seeds. This is not the time to rest. You can't do in the summer what you were supposed to do in the spring. You have to take advantage of the opportunity by putting in the disciplined activity. All the plans you made in winter, you now put them into motion in the spring. Next comes summer. This is a critical season. You've planted your seeds in the spring, but your work is not done. In the summer, you must nourish and protect what you've started. The weeds of doubt will try to creep in. The bugs of negativity and distraction will try to eat your crops. You have to be diligent. You have to pull the weeds. You have to fight off the pests. You must protect your new habits, your new business, your new relationships from the negative influences that will surely come. And finally, after a good spring and a diligent summer comes the fall. This is the harvest. This is when you reap the rewards of your labor. For some, it will be a bountiful harvest. For others, it may be small. Here's the key for the fall. You must take full responsibility for your harvest. If it's great, you must reap it without apology. You earned it. If it's meager, you must reap it without complaint. It is what you have earned. You learn from it and you get ready for the next winter. Understanding the seasons gives you patience in the winter, urgency in the spring, diligence in the summer, and responsibility in the fall. It's the rhythm of life. Understanding the seasons gives you perspective, but you still need a tool to act within them. This brings us to our ninth powerful idea, the value of discipline. We have talked about this, but it is so important we must return to it. Discipline is the glue that holds your philosophy, your goals, and your actions together. Without it, the best intentions in the world fall apart. Here is a simple truth. We must all suffer from one of two pains in life, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. The difference is that discipline weighs ounces while regret weighs tons. Many people avoid discipline because they see it as a restriction, a punishment. But a lack of discipline is its own prison. It traps you in habits that lead you away from the life you want. The man who doesn't have the discipline to read the book is trapped in his own ignorance. The woman who doesn't have the discipline to save a portion of her income is trapped by her financial circumstances. True freedom is only possible through discipline. It's the bridge that takes you from where you are to where you want to be. So what is it? Discipline is simply the choice to do the things you know you should do, even when you don't feel like doing them. It's the ability to give yourself a command and then follow it. And the good news is it's a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. You don't start by trying to change your entire life overnight. That's a recipe for failure. You start with one small thing. Here's how you build it. Pick one simple positive action. The discipline to go for a 10-minute walk. The discipline to make one extra phone call for your business. The discipline to write one thank you note. The act itself is small, but the effect is profound. Every time you keep that small promise to yourself, you build self-respect. You start to see yourself as a disciplined person. And here's the magic. Every new discipline you acquire positively affects all your other disciplines. It's a chain reaction of personal power. This brings us to our final and perhaps most meaningful idea. The 10th speech is about living a unique life. After all the work, developing your philosophy, setting goals, practicing discipline, understanding the seasons, what is the point of it all? The greatest value in life is not what you get. The cars, the houses, the money, those are fine, but they are not the prize. The greatest value in life is what you become. The goal is not just to have more, it is to be more. So many people make the mistake of just trying to fit in. They look around at what everyone else is doing, and they do that. This is the herd mentality, but you must be careful. If you want to know what the majority of people are thinking, you can just ask. But I wouldn't take their advice. It's not that they're bad people, it's just that the majority is almost always wrong when it comes to the big questions of life. Study the herd, yes, but study them to learn what not to do. The masses are heading for a life of quiet desperation. You must have the courage to walk your own path. What does it mean to live a unique life? It means you define success for yourself. You decide what happiness looks like for you. You consciously choose the values you want to live by and the character you want to build. It's about designing your life as a masterpiece. Don't just make a living, design a life. Your life is your message to the world, your gift to the future. What kind of person do you want to be? What virtues do you want to be known for? What contribution do you want to make? The practical application is to start working on your own dream. Because here's a guarantee. If you don't have a plan for your own life, you'll fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much. Your time, your energy, your very life is too valuable to be spent building someone else's dream on their terms. Become the architect of your own unique existence. So, we've walked through these 10 foundational ideas. From developing your philosophy to understanding the seasons, from the power of goals to the value of discipline. Each one is a piece of the puzzle of a well-lived life. They are not magic formulas, but they are principles. And principles, when applied, work. The central message that ties them all together is this: your life does not get better by chance, it gets better by change. And that change doesn't start with the government or the economy or your boss. It starts with you. The power to alter the course of your life resides within you, in the choices you make every single day. You can choose to be a student, you can choose to be disciplined. You can choose to design a life that is truly your own. If you found value in these ideas and want to continue the journey of personal development, of designing a better life, then I invite you to subscribe. We'll continue to explore the wisdom that helps you become the person you were meant to be.